All right, so James asked the question, how do we turn an article into a plot and an article plot point into its own prose? I think that's a great question, James. And so what we're going to do, let's switch over to the main tablet and let's turn on our whiteboard and let's, I don't know, can you see that? All right, well, we'll just go through it anyway. Okay, uh, the when when you're talking about turning a plot into a scene, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this whiteboard. I'm just going to go to a black background. When you're talking about it, you just go here. You have your main idea of the article. Okay, and so the next question is you want to turn it into its own prose. Okay, prose. And there's a lot of different things that you need to realize between article and the prose you have. Articles are fact-based, based on the fiction that we create. It's very straightforward. It is often third-person omniscient, and it's also just it's organized by category. Okay, so it's just really going down the plot. A prose article is something that's completely different, where you would um, it is opinion, meaning it has a point of view. Meaning all of the information in your prose article will come from a point of view character, and while it may appear to be fact, it is going to be filtered through the point of view of a specific character. Now, this could be first person, it could be third person, it could be a different thing, but you need to choose which version it is, and instead of being organized by category, it is organized by time, meaning a sequence of events. Thank you for following VBread. Okay, and so the transition that you go over from here, from having an article over to having a prose, is first of all, you need to have a character. And that character is, instead of being the dispassionate um, person, it is you need to have a character that is going to have the opinion and the point of view. This is the person that is either telling the story in first person or experiencing the story in third person, and there you can determine who your what your point of view is. Now, organizing by category or going over time, the things that you need in additional to a character is you need conflict. It's just okay. With this conflict that you have character, you have conflict, and what is the struggle that your character is going to go through, because you have the start, then you have a transformation, and then you have an end. Your character from your article will have a conflict, and that character has a starting point, will go through a transformation, and then have an end point. Right. Thanks for taking the sprint, James. I'll just create, let's get the other sprint taken down. Get that going. So those who want to follow the sprint can. Okay. Yes, that's an excellent question, James. Can the conflict be financial? It can be whatever it needs to be, because it's important that you have the conflict, because there are many types of stories, and there's the man versus idea, because you have man versus man, a conflict between two people, man versus self, an internal conflict. You have man versus society, where a person is struggling against normal conventions. The financial, yeah, it is anything that is stopping the person, the character, from going from the beginning to the end. Conflict here drives your story. Okay, so if it is financial, someone needs to pay off a debt, or they with the lack of finances, they then have to struggle and overcome something. Now, if it is something that is they have to overcome, that may finance may be a part of it, but what is the direct conflict that they have? So, and when we talk about prose, I'm kind of assuming this is going to be more of a short story as opposed to a full novel length, because we're talking about converting an article over to prose. This will be the coins. Okay. So talking about, your article, so the article that you're talking about here is your coins. It describes all of the different currency that you have. Okay. And now you want to have a prose, and the focus is going to be, the coins. We need to come up with a character or a situation that will use the coins in a specific way. Okay, who is the character? First of all, who is the character? This it the character will be the person that is using the coins and experiencing it. Now, this can just be a very simple thing. This character could just be someone going shopping, and they're new in town and they don't understand the coinage. When we talk about the conflict, it doesn't have to always be life ending, world ending. It just needs to, you have state A and you have state B, and you're transitioning over there, and there's something here trying to stop you going from point A to point B. That is conflict. Uh, so it's not required to be super overly complicated. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I would recommend is, first you determine a character. Then you would need to determine a setting. Okay. Um, and and you'll just go from there. Oh, so we got a almost a 30-second delay. It appears. So sorry about that. Okay, so anything else that we can talk about? Let me see if I can pull up a different image that'll help explain. This was one of the earlier thoughts that we had with the writing. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Let me delete this, all this stuff. Okay, so this is the conflict in literature. So when you get into your article and you're talking about what kind of conflict that you want to have and you're talking about the coins conflict, the coins in and of themselves are inanimate objects that don't do anything. They don't stop anything. And so it is a challenging to say this is the conflict that these coins have. It is something that starts. I mean, the coins represent something that represent the conflict. So it could be, if you go in here and you talk about the man versus man conflict, you would say, okay, one person has the coins, the other person wants the coins. And so you have two individuals who are fighting for the coins. Okay? Then you could have the more society based one where you have a debt, or you're having a struggle for finances, and that you have the lack, and there's that social pressure that you need to have the coins or the money related to it. And so there is, and then um, I'm not sure the postmodern here conflicts here would work, but this is just some of the kind of things when you're thinking about conflict: is who is your Daffy Duck, who is your character, and what kind of struggle. Because here, I mean, even okay, this man versus self right here in the middle. A person has a gambling problem, or this person is unemployed and unable to find work. You could do that. All right. If they work out the face of the coin, they would be considered the hero of a city. Okay, so there we go. That is a different kind of conflict. That would be a quest that this person goes on. And what's stopping them? It's probably one of these different things. But, oh, let's go here. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. So when you're talking about what is that person, okay, you have the con, oops, no, not that. Okay, so you have, you know, the unknown. Who is that person? They try, but then they fail. They try again, they fail again. They try again, and they succeed. And then you have your denouement. I can't spell denouement. Okay, so here's oh, unknown. And they go through the Trifail Cycle, trying to find different ways to understand who is the face on the coin. And each of these different types these different tries would be something that they're working on. Now, in a short story, when we're talking about a short story, the best you do not need to have all of these in a short story, because it's literally short. This would be more of a novel or a novella length. But if you are going to have a short story, you need to focus on the end of the conflict, not the beginning of the conflict, because we want to provide the most excitement, the most encouragement in a story, and that usually comes at the end of the story, not at the beginning of the story. Would they be considered a hero if they found out who was on the face of the coin? That would that would be that would be a situation that you would create within your own story. You would have to make that decision, because what is the reward for having tried, and then finally succeeded? Would that person now be the new face of the coin? Because the society requires the person to be anonymous, and once that person has been discovered, then they put the new face on it of the person who made the discovery, who is also then anonymous. I don't know. That would be your choice. Okay, so there we go. That's the end of the sprint and the sprint takeover. Thank you very much, James, for asking these questions and giving the opportunity to explain how to convert an article over into prose. I hope you found this helpful, and I am going to be clipping this and putting this on YouTube. That's why I put the ad marker stream on it. So if anyone who is watching this and enjoyed this and would like to ask your own questions and participate live on twitch.tv/WriterGreg, please come on over and follow us for morning marches. And from there, we'll be able to have some more fun exploring the things of writing. Thank you so much, and let's get to writing.